it's in this certain roster confirmation or comprising. And we've gone into the match a bit late, and we've already seen that Crew within the first 30 seconds have opened up a lead, which is interesting, yet not entirely surprising. NiP, a team that normally starts very slow.
Well, we've only seen one of the goals out of the two so far. Crew taking it up to 2-0. But as you were saying in the pre-show, Max, Crew Esports have not secured a win versus Ninjas in Pajamas. So really, they're going to be looking for a lot of revenge here. This could be their time to do it and really set themselves up for a brilliant grand final.
That's certainly what Crew is hoping for. The currently most informed team from South America is certainly working hard for it. It's a third in the opening minute for Crew Esports. What NiP just haven't turned their monitors on yet. Simple as that.
They're really not there, are they? I mean, that was a lovely bit of play there from Crew Esports. The 50-50 in the middle, then the shot just being faked towards the left, sent to the right, off the post. Then the follow-up from Jafino just to finish the job. He's making life quite easy for Crew Esports, but here comes Benz with a flip reset, but it is tame, and Brad can easily put it out wide.
Easily put out wide, but continued nonetheless from NiP. The Ninjas, well, they certainly have to get out of their pajamas and have to go into battle gear. As right now, they're being outclassed and outshone in the opening minute by Crew Esports, a very direct way of playing towards that blue net drop. Waiting patiently for Motta's touch, but Motta has control still though. Can't get it past the midfield. Jafino, great pass, great shot! Brad puts in the fourth. It's an absolute outclassing of NiP.
Ninjas in Pajamas, they just look slow. You see Benz there. He could have made the pressure play just to try and cause Jafino to just have a bit of a panic moment there and not be able to get that pass off as cleanly as he did. But because he had all the time in the world, he could measure it to perfection. Then the shot too, beautifully in that top left corner. It just seems like, so far, Crew Esports are going to walk away with the first game. But Ninjas in Pajamas, at least it's a best of 7. They have so much time to wake up. As you say, get out of their pajamas. The battle gear doesn't seem to be existent whatsoever yet, but that's the first decent mistake they've made. So maybe it's finally time that they've got out of bed.
Maybe they finally woken up and chose to enter the stadium as Bems is trying to pull it down that right flank. Jafino faked away by Bems having absolutely zero boost to work with. The shot, it's an open net, but the shot will not find the target. Motta, yesterday, superb performance against Secret. Today, still trying to find his mark.
Yeah, well, it is still early days here, Max Fish. Let's not try and read into the game too early just yet, but we are seeing Ninjas in Pajamas finally getting a bit of offensive pressure within them. It is taking its time, and it will slowly plow on forward in the game. It just will be when they get their first goal in. Will it engage on a flurry of them as they push forward? But here comes Brad off the backboard, but bends up quickly to get it away.
Still, it's a soft cut double commit, even if it is a double commit at all from the NiP defense, allowing Crew to still set up shop in that blue half. Brad, looking for his teammates in center, drops, able to put some pressure on, but nothing too dangerous for the NiP defense. And credits to them, after a absolutely shocking opening 90 seconds, NiP have really managed to stop down the bleeding and put pressure on the wound.
Yeah, they have managed to do so, but realistically, they don't want to be putting pressure on the wound. They want to be trying to get a bit of blood out of Crew Esports here. They're not really doing any sort of damage. Sure, there are shots coming and flying everywhere here, Max Fish, but at the end of the day, it does not matter unless you can really start to break down the defense. Put the pressure on them to make them break. Force them to be panicking and let them make the mistakes as you push it towards them. As right now here, Ninjas in Pajamas are sort of scrambling to try and even get it out of their own half still.
Midfield pressure, that Crew Esports able to fortify. It's quite good, but now when NiP break out of their defense, it's immediately dangerous. Quick counter-attack. Defended away, Bems does well to evade the demo. On defense being the last one back, and Swaces, yeah. I mean, Crew, they just look like they're just feeling themselves right now. They're instantly on it. They instantly have their rotations on lock. NiP are just overall striking another soft double commit out of Astromech and Motta.
Exactly, they are panicking, and all they're really relying on here, Macfish, is the counter-attack. I haven't really seen them once in this game yet be able to sustain a long time of pressure on the opposition. All they're really doing is just trying to find one little opportunity to leg it all forward, and then as soon as they all commit, Crew get their own chance to counter-attack instead, and it seems like it's a lot more difficult for NiP to deal with than it is for Crew.
Crew's offense overall, its offensive structure is just a lot more organized. You can see that these players have figured out their natural style of rotation a lot quicker than NiP, and the struggles are immersing. Even though NiP now haven't conceded in about 3 minutes, they still haven't scored yet. Drops gets it off the line, and Drops also there to take it away out of his own half.
Was a good little opportunity there for NiP, but again, they overcommitted forward a little bit too quickly for my liking, which meant that when the ball dropped down in the middle and there was one singular free opportunity for a shot, they weren't there to take it because they were simply too quick at diving on that ball. I'd like to see them calm down, chill out, relax for a second, watch how the gameplay is going. Just like Crew are, then maybe, just maybe, they can get a bit of a control on this series.
It's a bit of a fact of they know that Crew is the team in form. They know that Crew is incredibly quick and they're trying to play up to that speed. The problem for them is that at the moment their rotations aren't solid enough to support them playing at that speed. You could see the double commits coming through. You could see that Crew just forces the 50s in the midfield like they did with that second goal, where they just get all the time. They have the perfect touches. It's making it a living nightmare for NiP in offense.
It is, absolutely, Matt Fish. That is, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. They are really struggling with their own pace of play. Just slow it down, take a dribble or two. We saw that passing play between Drafino and Brad, where it was brilliant because they took their time. NiP just let them have the pressure, and Crew, they will probably start doing the same thing if NiP try to slow it down. Take that chance, take that bit of time that you've got, create something in your mind, push forward with it, and that's when you start to get goals. That's when you beat the defense and get a few to your name.
And that's probably still stemming from the fact that yesterday they played Secret, a team that is very, outspeedable is maybe not the correct term, but a team that is that's trying to take their time with every single pass. They're always trying to do the most optimal play, and NiP just disrupted that by simply being in their faces. You can't play like this against Crew Esports. They are more than happy to shift into higher gear, to shift it into be in your face themselves, as we'll surely see here. Brad flip reset, denied by Motta. Early up, good confidence.
Let's see if the adaptability of NiP can start to shine on through here. Brad on the side does use the jump to get around one. Places down into the middle as well, but no one there to take advantage. Now it does drop to the center again, but this time it's Astro. Bems was sort of in the position on the right-hand side, but Drafino here drops it down for a shot. It's actually a lot more dangerous than I initially expected. It's still on here for Crew Esports. What can Drops do? Not too much as Bems comes in and sweeps it away.
Good continuation on the defensive push as well to get it out of their own half, to get it past midfield. Crucially, that midfield pressure, that midfield battle that has been so thoroughly dominated, so utterly stomped by Crew Esports in that first minute. NiP cannot allow to have that happen again. They need a bit of presence in the middle of the pitch.
Crew here really as well, trying to force the passing plays out of themselves too. Don't really like to be the ones to try and go for a solo play here and there, and I don't mind that really, but Ninjas in Pajamas, they need to lock onto that, realize that that is the sort of idea that Crew are taking on. Look at Brad in control here, trying to hand it off to Drafino, and does so beautifully, takes it around the corner, into the middle of the shot, just off target.
Shot just off target, but again, they're getting closer and closer. It's an optical advantage that Crew Esports are forging for themselves, and it's one that NiP has to break. Maybe Sways with the physicality, a point where NiP can actually shine. They are the most demo-heavy team of the four that are remaining here in the Spring Cup, with 4.5 demos delivered onto opponents, and they're playing the team that gets demoed the second most with 4 demos per game. So physicality might be the key here for NiP.
It really could be, but as we've seen already, the speed that they're playing at, they're going to make it very, very difficult for themselves. Brad trying to get the demo, but Drafino fluffs the shot, can't quite make contact. Beautiful chance for Crew to take the lead in the second game, but they can't do it, but maybe they can now. No, they can't. Blocked by NiP.
Blocked away by NiP, and immediately just giving away possession from Motta. That's what you talked about earlier, Races, where NiP just in those crucial situations have to take their time. But there's the demo from Bems. A whiff in the back line opens up the path for NiP.
Max Fish, you tactical genius, you read the scripts, you knew what was needed for NiP, and they delivered it on a platter. Brilliant demo in the midfield. I believe that was by Bems. Opened the gate, wide open for the first goal to come on through. That is a big goal scored for Ninjas in Pajamas. They may have only scored 1 in the series so far, but the second one could be soon. No, not quite.
And I'm sort of missing the defensive stability from Crew that we saw in Game 1. Not quite happened here in Game 2. The more solid NiP become, the less solid it appears to be that Crew Esports are playing in their rotations. Brad looking again for the team approach out of defense, but once again, Bems just has him read.
I do understand the old term of don't fix it if it's not really broken here, but Crew still continually trying to play these passing plays off. Doesn't really seem to be working too much anymore. Does look like Ninjas in Pajamas, as I said, have adapted to what the playstyle of Crew was like. So let's see them try and switch it up a little bit. Try and go for a dribble or two. Take it down for yourself. Have the confidence to beat a man or two and see what you can do with it. Because even look at that, the passing play just not going off. 2 players committed and they lose possession, but somehow they manage to get it back again because apparently Ninjas in Pajamas neither know how to keep it.
NiP, especially Motta, very, very scared of actually taking possession for a prolonged period of time. More content with chasing after the ball, boom it away, and then look at it. This is way better from Motta in the corner. Forces in, drops, forces in Drafinho. Drops now with the infield pass. Drafinho has it. Brad has the shooting opportunity, but the shot is weak. Shot is not accurate. The shot is simply not good.
Will be Drafinho. Off the backboard here, tries to dribble in, gets a pinch with Brad. Brad still chasing on this, but Motta will move it away from his own corner, back to the other end. Robs now, probably was looking for Drafinho, but got a bit too much power on that one. Now set to the middle, Brad intercept. Could be a chance for Drafinho here if it's not blocked away by Astro. Still the follow-up from Drops, puts it down to the center, but the pass forward here and the counter-attack not quite quick enough for Ninjas in Pajamas. So we do keep the scoreline here at 1-1. 1-0, sorry.
Where have you seen that goal from Crew? Is it this one? Oh, you are a fortune teller, Swaces.
I see the future. Thank you.
You are the oracle of Sam. Crew equalize. Is that just the caster confirm? That's a reverse caster curse if I've ever seen one.
You see, it's just what happens when you've been away for 6 months. You sort of start to learn about the pace of play in Rocket League. I'm joking. I have no idea what's going on in any game at all. But what I can see is that it's 1-1 here. Crew have brought it back. It's a big goal for them. Can they make it a second? They cannot. Blocks on the line. Still Drafinho dropping down. 0 boost. Gets the 50. Drops can storm it in. Can't get it past Motta.
Motta, again, confident on his way out of defense. Just trying to block away the incoming shot. Bems trying to take a leaf out of your book and take control of the ball, but this time not well advised. There's a demo coming through from Drafinho. Motta drops opening up the shot. But it is saved just in the nick of time. Second pickings again to the side by Motta.
Got a chance here though, Max Fishing for Drops. Drafinho does maybe drop it down here. The shot as well is tame. It is cleared away. But Brad with a chance. Lots of boost in this tank. Can he get it round? A drop to the floor. It does go down and we have overtime.
Overtime in Game 2. This is more of the series that we expected coming into this. Not the 4-0 blowout from Crew Esports in Game 1, but the overtime might be over quickly. No, it's not Drafinho. He is Edison evolved.
Just on the line, comes in to save this second game here for Crew. It's still in a dangerous spot. Drop struggling to get it out. Safety. Here's Astro, flip reset. Can he get another one? He can. Brings it over to Motta, follows up, can't put it in. On the line, here comes Bems, but Drafinho this time is the one that takes it away. Still going to be dangerous, but Drops finally gets that extra bit of clearance.
It's good that Drops got it past Motta as well. Boost was running low here for Crew Esports, but no one is in the defense. Actually, Astronomic with the shot. It's not being kept out by Drops. It's a rather easy shot for Astronomic, but he certainly will not mind NiP equalize the series.
Did you just say that was an easy shot? Did you not see the read? The first touch was perfect onto the ceiling. Then the shot too,
man.
to take it to the right side when nobody was home for Crew Esports, bringing it back in style. Ninjas in Pajamas back to 1-1 in the series.
I mean, it's Astronomic, right? So any sort of mechanical shot is easy for him. Like he's way too good at the game. Like his mechanics are sublime. And yeah, you asked for, before this game started, Spaces, you asked for adaptability out of NiP, and I think adaptability is exactly what we've seen. It still wasn't clean by any means, but it was a lot better, and it clearly confused or at least untethered Crew Esports here.
Yeah, you are right here, Matfish. It did sort of manage to take them down a bit, but I don't really know exactly what the big changes were because, sure, one of the goals did come from a demolition, but outside of that, there weren't really many to be done at all. I more think it is down to Crew sort of lacking a bit of confidence in themselves there. They didn't really seem to, controlling in their play anymore. They didn't give themselves the opportunity to make the passes, and then they opened themselves up to a lot of counterattacks from Ninja in Pajamas. That's how they lost that game. Hopefully this time they can learn from that, make their changes, then come back and hit strong with a counterpunch for Ninja in Pajamas.
It's almost like after that first game that Crew was expecting the fight back from NiP to happen and then just turtled in prematurely, where NiP just took a little bit longer than expected to really get their juices going. But the main thing is they stopped the double commits on defense. Honestly, if you don't constantly double commit, guess what? Your defense is going to be having a much easier time.
Absolutely. But here we come into the third game of this best of 7. But now we're really going to get into the grips of it. Both teams nicely warmed up, ready to give it their all in this match to try and get themselves into the grand final. As that one from Jafino really managed to get pinched into the midfield, but it will be Brad off the ceiling, takes it down, gets one touch, trying to go in for the second as well. Let it just drop down slowly, cause a bit of panic amongst Ninjas in Pajamas, but Astra will finally get that clear out wide.
Astromech gets it wide, but Brad is still there, lurking in the shadows as he so often does. Gets another shot in. Ooh, it's Jafino, and Astromech had to stretch and had to make it work, but he does get the save eventually. But still, NiP struggling to find the way out of their own half. Motta didn't get the pinch and will be dunked away by Jafino. Still, resources running low for NiP. Crew Esports waiting, just trying to whittle the defense down.
Even though they're trying to whittle it down, they're not really doing too much of it here. NFP look very comfortable in their defense at the moment. It is quite a slow-paced game, but that is the double commit that you were talking about, Macfish. That could cause a few problems here and there, but it's actually a bigger problem for Crew Esports. Motta comes in from the skies above, can't quite tap it on down, but another counter-attack, open net, not able to be persuaded on target by Bems.
Open net not scored by Bems, but this shot, oh my god, Brad! What a save indeed from him. Motta, this time, no one home to keep it out. And NiP, they thoroughly deserve this opening goal.
Huge credit to Brad there for making that save, but his two teammates there sort of dropping the ball, no pun intended, on that occasion there. Jafino just pushing up a little bit too far, drops as well, making the double commit, getting a bit too close for Brad, who admittedly did have no boost in the tank, so he was always going to struggle to make something work. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter too much. In the end, as the mistake was made, a goal was scored. It's 1-0, but could it be made 1-1? No, Motta off the crossbar.
It was a conceiving shot because you think it hits the ceiling, or it hits the crossbar rather, and then it just slowly arcs down as this one does right here. Astromech able to get it to the side, but still the pressure remains from Jafino. It's the two drops again though. But mostly in the corner, and in the corner, NiP are quite happy to just leave it there and play slowly.
Huge boom of field. Brad trying to get onto it. Oh, lovely tap down as well. Unfortunately, not too good in the communication for Crew Esports there. A bit of a misdemeanor within them, but that is a quick pop shot coming out there from Drops. But here comes Brad, boosting the tank, takes it up high off the ceiling. Can he get another touch? He can't. Cannons off the crossbar from Jafino. Can't quite get it in. Well, it was almost an open net for him, but here's another chance actually, Macfish, but it is blocked away by Motta quickly.
Blocked away quickly by Crew Esports, not rewarding himself, not getting the reward that they deserve for such a strong moment on attack this time. Quick counter-attack, Bratton drops. It's a quick little 1-2 passing play. Jafino, last man back, has to be content with Bems. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be awful. But Jafino does well to defend it to the side.
An interesting game, this one here, Macfish. It doesn't seem like anyone's taking control, but as I say that, calamities on an offensive Crew. Nobody could get the ball cleared, and it's 2-0.
Astromech says to Jafino, oh, you want to hit that ball, mate? I don't think so. You're just going to get bumped away to the side, out of my way, you peasant. As NiP puts in the second of Game 3, doubles their lead and gives themselves a much-needed security goal in this series.
Very nice for NiP, that one, but a little touch forward from Drops there did cause a small amount of panic in the defense of Ninjas in pajamas. This ball does find itself in the midfield. Brad with a pop shot forward, trying to get pumped out of the way. Was astronomical there, but managed to avoid it very quickly. And now here comes the counter-attack. Can Astro get onto this one? He can still get the touch. All over to the side. It won't be too much use for them as Bems tries to get it down into the center. But again, that is a play that doesn't quite work for them here, MacFish.
Just Crew Esports, what happened? After game one, it's something happened. Motta happens for NiP. They are cooking something here, and they've got the dish sorted. Drops can't keep it out. The shot simply too powerful from Motta.
Crew here are looking like game one. NiP just backing off too far and allowing Ninjas in pajamas just to leg it forward, get the challenges in, and then create a passing play which is so fierce and so pace-worthy that they can't do anything about it. But that's an easy chance there for Drops too. To nip it into the front post, he couldn't do it, and now Brad has to try and reset it again. 15 in the midfield. Now is the chance for Ninjas in pajamas to break free.
And break free they do. Long ball deep down. Only 40 seconds remaining for Crew Esports to stage a comeback, but not if ceiling pre-jumps like these are going to be happening from Motta constantly. Again, he gets in the face, and that's where he excelled yesterday against Secret. That's where he was at his finest, just being that aggressive player, being that aggressor to drop down the opponent, but it doesn't matter! Drops from Delfinio's pass. It's a carbon copy of NiP's 3-0, and it's just as beautiful.
Oh, it is a lovely one, isn't it? Powerful shot there. Ben's quite unlucky, actually. Could not get the save on that one. Did really well to even get a slight touch on it as he went a bit too far off the front post, which is a mistake at the end of the day. But it could open up the door for a comeback here. But that is a flipping brilliant 50 in the midfield from NiP. Now's their chance to try and come forward and secure this game 3, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it here. MacFish, only 10 seconds left. They're losing out on this one, and it does seem to be NiP are going to take a 2-1 lead in this series.
NiP, after being utterly outclassed, outshone, outplayed in the first game, rally themselves together, do not get tilted, and come back here in the best of 7 to make it 2-1 in their favor. And look at it again. It's that man. It's Astromic to take charge and to take the reins really in his own hands.
He has been good, hasn't he? Fantastic player. 2 assists and 4 saves. The spearheading player of this team. Without him at the moment, really, MacFish, I don't know where they would be. He seems to be that bit of a bully in attack, and then the creator as well for them. Really smart when it comes to the offense, getting himself in brilliant passing positions and then playing brilliant passes too. He is the star man so far, and if he continues playing the way that he is without being shut down by Crew, there's going to be a real problem here.
Yeah, Crew have to somehow try to get a handle on Astromic, but that's easier said than done. It's like saying, oh, you know, try to get a handle on Vatira or Zen. It's like, it's not gonna happen, mate. These special players, they find their opportunities, they find their situations to really shine. And Astromic doesn't do it necessarily in the goal-scoring way, he does it in the team way. And that's what I really like myself. He's saying, okay, I'm gonna lead this team, but I'm gonna lead it by feeding confidence to my teammates.
That is what a true captain is there, MacFish. Is if you can supply ability by yourself and then also engage your teammates on the battlefront, then you are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And as we head into this next game at Utopia Coliseum, it's going to be a real test of character in this match. Can Crew come back for it, or will it go all the way to a game in hand? Well, the series winner for Ninjas in Pajamas here. If Crew don't react, but here comes Drops, tries to get the flip reset to score an early one, but can't seem to complete the task.
Not quite able to complete the task, but as you said, NiP, if they win this one, they're suddenly on the match point, 3 in a row. And I'm a bit surprised that Crew Esports here didn't take their time out while after game 2, like it's 1-1 in the series, you don't really need to have 2 wins in a row, and especially the fashion in which NiP won this last game could have led to a timeout being callless. One infield pass is defended away by Delfinio. Motta can keep the attack alive, flip reset acquired, but ball just too far away from his own card to make any sort of impact.
Oh, Delfinio here as well tried to play the drop down pass, but just simply couldn't get high enough. It might have been a bit more tactical for him there to try and take possession by himself and just air dribble it into the corner, because when you constantly try and force the passes, sometimes they can go wrong and you just lose the possession. But that's a lovely turnaround shot by Brad, and the follower too. How did he get the time to do that?
Well, Astromik was... Astromik and Motta, they're just unsure of where to go. Motta was just mindlessly rotating through, not really listening to comms perhaps, or not really trusting his teammate to get into the way. That sort of opened the door for Crew Esports a tiny bit, and Crew, they didn't just take the open door, they didn't just crack it open, they completely forced it open with their opening goal of game number 4. Crew show that they're very surely not out of the series yet.
Will be Brad. Slippery step is available to him. How will he use him? Must he flick his fate? Takes it round. The whole team can't quite put it in though. The post, the only thing to deny him, but Trafino here with another chance. Drops it down. Pre-jump on drops. Is blocked by Motta. Wonderful chance there for Crew to make it too. This one as well saved away by Bems. A flurry of shots coming in from Crew, but now here comes Ninjas in pajamas. Astro on no boost at all, still manages to beat 2 players. That just proves the caliber of player that we're dealing with here, Magfish.
Astromik, again, trying to be that catalyst for the offense, trying to supply his teammates in promising positions. Yet the Crew Esports look a lot more solidified than it did just in the previous 2 games. They've suddenly found their confidence back a bit. They're trying to read Ninjas in pajamas, and they're getting the reads as well. As Astromik, looking for the demo, finds the demo. Bems is there. The angle is, however, not.
That's the brilliant thing about Astromik here. Whenever he makes a small mistake, it looks like a problem, but he still manages to find value as Bems here on the front post cannons one into the top corner.
Look at that. That also with the demo from Astromik, and then his awareness to just turn away, turn directly into the challenge without those wall dashes away. He doesn't get the 50, and Bems' shot, I mean, second to none.
It was a lovely shot at the near post. Normally you'd expect to see them be saved and the opposition to be covering that post instead of the one that really was scored through, but either way, it's still a goal there for Ninjas in pajamas, who will be very happy with that one, especially with the goal that went in for Crew. Here comes Dropso in the midfield. 2 players back for Crew here. Will be Jafino. Free jump there from Astromik isn't quite successful. Jafino sort of teasing, trying to pinch that ball into the middle, but Bems here on the counter-attack, drops it off the Motta. A bit of miscommunication, still managed to nearly work out, but Astro here trying to cover the tracks of his teammates, and does so wonderfully by just containing that ball in the half of Crew.
Astromik just holding down the line. Now Motta's being harassed on the back ball by Trafino. Evades the demo and just leaves Astromik with the ball. Notes that he has been supplying sublime passes all game long and all series long. This time though, the pass just a tiny bit too far forward for Bems to latch onto. Drops another shot. Quick little opportunity for Crew, but nothing that can be capitalized upon.
Just wondering how we're going to progress forward here, Max. There's seems to be a bit of a stalemate, but that is a mistake. Can it be turned on target? He can't. It's just off the post. Follow from drops. Puts up high. Can he get the reset? He can. Drop down available. He does go for it, but it's off the upright of the goal.
Upper 90 aimed at, and upper 90 denies. Where the crossbar and the post meet, it leads to ultimate struggles for Crew Esports. As NiP not able to just get the save, but also to get themselves out off of their own blue half. Not for long though, as Drops is already dropping it back in. Motta, again, if he's alone as first man and if he finds his challenges, he is such a valuable member of this NiP defense. But when he's like sort of awkward and not quite sure where he needs to be, that's where NiP break down.
Could very much so be that way. He does seem to be the master of defense here for Ninjas in pajamas. Bems, that beautiful middleman, the one that tries to begin the passing play, begin the structure of the attack and allow both the opposition to really go forward here. But that is a huge boom downfield, having to have a quick response out of Jafino to really stop that from being a dangerous prospect. We do find ourselves in the corner of Crew. Counter-attack now, back to the other end for Ninjas in pajamas. Then trying to get onto this one too. Does manage to get a few brilliant touches. Forces a reverse out of Brad. Can he set it to the middle? 100 boost. Fires across the net. Can't really seem to come to much as we get into the last few seconds of the game here.
10 seconds and the NiP offense is firing, but now they've retreated, allowing Crew to come back at them. Motta, again, important pre-jump beat from him, but no one up there for the second touch. The ball in center. Eventually cleared away by Astromik. 0 seconds. Rule 1 is in full effect. Motta gets it center. Astromik and Bems, neither of them able to get it in. We have a second overtime here, Oasis.
Just wanted to get the reset done and start off fresh. But the kickoff does go over to Drops, actually. That is a huge boom up. Oh, it's all good from Bems here. There's a chance there for Drops to try and set it down for a teammate. Another chance here as well. Into Drops, can't seem to put it to the middle of the park. But Jafino around this corner, making a struggle out of Astromic, who still managed to get the 50 through. Can he use the final bit of boost and really secure an opportunity here? The answer was no. Jafino, huge send-up field. Motta grabs the boost and controls it wonderfully. Jumps off now, still in control. Brings it over one, but does get bumped away. Allows Stefino to send it back up the other end, as we're not really seeing any huge openings just yet in this overtime.
Very stop-start offense right here from NiP. It's not taking the control at the moment. It's just, oh my god, Charlie got the pre-jump. But it's just trying to weigh down the defense, trying to determine them from the field. Big demo. As you said, Drops doesn't have a lot of boost to work with in the end. Doesn't have the angle to get into a dangerous spot either, though.
Still anybody's game here. Bems with a chance. Does flick it up high. Does remove one player from the game, but it has to be stopped by Drops. Now Jafino. Huge send forward. Can Brad get onto it? Double tap. Is beckoning. Double tap not in. Just off the post. Nearly beautiful from the man.
Nearly. So close. Second time in a row that double tap attempt is just that little bit too wide as Brad clears it up high. Drops trying to find a nasty redirect. Not able to latch on the end of that one, but still it's NiP deep in their own half, deep in defense, trying to hold on. Getting it out is Brad, but once again it's a pre-jump. This time was Astromic.
The passing plays are a little bit too readable here, but that's another dangerous ball across from Motta. Really is starting to become the playmaker here for Ninjas in Pajamas, and a lot of reliance on him to get the attack started. Astro forced to back off, can still get a huge boom and clear, but this is a chance here for Crew. A lot of time, big boom forward, searching for Drops, into the corner. Drops, can he get a touch? He can, but Motta stands strong, now comes forward, no boost in the tank, still in control, pops it up high to the middle, but Brad this time sends it to the safety of Jafino, who gets an extra clearance on that.
Gets it middle to Drops as well, even though the crew game plan hasn't really wavered with trying to find the teammates at every possible opportunity. Their passes are getting more and more difficult to read for NiP. It's not as choreographed anymore out of Crew, and now coming forward, Drops and Rafinha once again trying. Brad as the third man, waiting in behind, now has his chance, gets the dunk, but it's wide.
A little bit too slow on that initial engage with the ball. Had to try and build up the speed by using a lot of his boost, which really denied the amount of opportunities that he could have built for himself. But Jafino, a lovely 50 there, manages to get him in an offensive position, but he isn't able to do too much. Now Brad, awkward touch, does fail him, so Astro does boom it away back to the side of Crew. Now Brad sends another one into the corner of NiP. Can Bems bring some control to this game? Yes, he can, but he gets a bit of a misflip there. Some small mistakes starting to seep through here for both teams.
Nervousness starting to show. It's a lot of tennis Rocket League at the moment, just back and forth, serve and return. There's one demo coming out from Jafino. He's hunting for the second. He gets the bump on Motta, but he still somehow manages to recover at the backboard. Still though, the Crew attack will commence. Brad up high once again, looking for the bump. But Astromic has him read like an open book.
Up into the corner, Astro. Trying to force a bit of pressure on the players in goal here for Crew. Jafino, low boost on the tank, gets a decent 50, but Astro read exactly how that was going to go. Now the pass off to Brad. Brad searching for another one, back down into Drop, but couldn't quite find his target. Now popped up back to the middle. Will be Motta. Still near the ball in control. Tries to hand it off to Bems, who can't seem to get onto it, but Astro dangerous chance. Gets bumped away, and Brad with a big clear. Now NiP rushing to get back, and Astro the quickest of them to save the day.
Astro quickest, Bems taking up defensive positions at the backboard, and now Motta, quick little counter-attack again. It's a 1-2. Looking for their player in front. As soon as the chance is gone, the chance is gone, and the chance is at the other end. Crew Esports not able to get it past NiP defense as Motta. It's past one, but again, it's just wasting away possession.
That's exactly what I was just about to say there. Max Fishy stole the words out of my mouth, releasing the possession, not really able to hold on to it. That's the problem with both of these teams right now, but that is a good demolition. Jafino having to take his time, but the spawn isn't good for them. Now it's Motta with a chance. It's dropped into the middle, and it's an awkward pass, but Drops able to recover. Now it's a 3-on-2. Drops, slippery set. The bomb trying to be made. That one off target, and Astro able to take control. Lots of boost, lots of time. What can he do? Can't beat the last man. We're still at 1-1 and 5 minutes into overtime.
One free game of Rocket League players. Drops. It's a great flip reset, but can't really use it that effectively. Stromic. Get it past Tofino either, and both defenses are sort of cancelling each other out. Whatever offensive push is tried, whatever route is tried, the defense just seems ready for it. It's going to be a war of attrition. It's going to be not who necessarily has the first genius play, but who makes the first mistake, in my opinion.
It does seem that way at the moment, MacFish, but I also want to see both these teams take control of when the ball comes directly to them. Just as Drops is here, goes up high, off the backboard. Can he get the second touch? He can't. Easily read by the opposition. Now Brad's turn to go for something. Flip reset. What can he do? Still has a bit of boost on a tank, but can't utilize it to its maximum effect. Astro here as well. Does get a small clear. Demolitions and bumps being forced by Tofino, who is starting to make it difficult for Ninjas in Pajamas. Although they are still on the attack, boost that wasn't that high. They managed to gather some now, so they can control that ball in the corner, keep the offensive pressure alive. But here comes Crew again.
Crew come again, but they're denied on the midfield line by Astromic. He gets it straight over to Motta. Demoed away for his troubles, but Motta still gets it dangerous. Bems is there, but didn't want to commit fully. Still had to wait for Astromic to respawn behind him. Still needed to know where Astromic needed to respawn behind him. Bems, though, second time of asking. He's going to push it forward, looking for a bump as well. But Motta is going to be denied anyway.
Such a long time into this overtime now here, MacFish. Somebody needs to try and get a goal soon. That's a big mistake. Wide opening here for them. Brad dives across, gets it away, but it's still hanging high above Crew Esports net. Bems can't get the turn on it. Big chance there for Ninjas in Pajamas, as now the counter-attack is engaged, but Motta shuts it down quickly.
That was the one crucial mistake that I talked about earlier. It's another good outplay from Motta. Astromic. Oh, the 50-50. It's a great idea, but unfortunately just doesn't work. The defense read the fake. Had it coming, but the NiP offense is still firing. Crew is really struggling. They're panicking on defense. They have zero boost in their tanks.
It's so weird, MacFish. All the pace of the play just completely leaves the game right when the ball gets in front of the net. And because of that, it gets easier for the defense. They're able to slow down a game. And that's when it gets really difficult to score, because it's 50 after 50 after 50, which favors the defense 9 times out of 10 if they keep their organization. Which Crew, they're doing wonderfully right now. They're just waiting for their chance to strike. But there's a time for Astro to strike. Oh, Motta gets it through. 7 minutes and 37 seconds in, we finally have a winner.
And of course, the assist had to be Astromic. The best assist is usually a shot that went barely wide. Brad Deer caught in the headlights, and NiP win not only in overtime, but win an exceptionally mentally important and mentally draining overtime.
That is a big, big win for them here. Crew really trying to look and break the mold of them just constantly losing to Ninjas in Pajamas. But now they need to pull something special out the bag here, MacFish. They are down to match point versus Ninjas in Pajamas, who have really stepped it up since that first game in this series.
I think we can comfortably say that that first game was just a fluke.
It was.
It was just NiP really maybe taking it slow, to maybe trying to see, okay, what Crew brings to the table today. It's a best of 7, right? So you can afford game 1 to do that, or was simply because they were like a bit unsure about what's happening. But either way, Crew Esports have called for the timeout, and of course they have to.
Ooh, yes, they do. They really, really do. And in this time, it's a bit more of just calming them down a little bit, especially after a defeat like that, because that is going to hit you where it hurts. 7 minutes and 37 seconds in to concede like that. I was just talking about the pace of play being a bit too slow in front of net, and at that moment, Ninjas in Pajamas turned up the heat just at the right time. Last man standing could do nothing and watch as that final pass was made, and it was a wide open net. And that really sucks for Crew, because they had a lot of chances too, MacFish, but they need to capitalize on them more this time.
But the thing with Crew Esports is I feel like when they work their chance, they get 3-4 chances in a row, and then they don't have anything in for like another minute and a half. That's where NiP really find their way forward. You can see it in this overtime as well. NiP always able to come forward, have one quick counterattack, have a quick shot to keep Crew on their toes, and then also have pressure play on top of that. Whereas Crew, I feel like they only have that pressure play, and it's simply against NiP, who they've been conditioned to play, they conditioned them to play in a passing way. They just have them read.
Exactly, they really do. Crew, they need to switch things up. And honestly, I think the demolitions are going to be the start for them, to be completely honest with you here, Macfish, because they're not clearing the way. They're really struggling to break down the Ninjas in Pajamas defense because they're all clambering back to get into the final third just in front of the net. So every time they do come up with a lovely passing play or they go for a solo, there's at least 2 people there for Ninjas in Pajamas to block it away, take it to safety, and re-engage on that front foot. So Crew, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's go for a demo, just like that one nearly broke out with the first opportunity early on in this game.
Crew has evidently heard you. Crew is taking a page out of NiP's book. How is the best way to come back? Well, demo your opponent. That's going to tilt them a little bit at least. That's what NiP did to Crew in game 2, and now Crew are trying to return the favor. An unlucky respawn there of Motta to make it awkward in the corner. Crew's attack this continue, and they're still moving forward.
Hanging high in the midfield. Trofino first to get to there. Drops. Now just takes it off the hands of Trofino around this corner. Tries to get a bit of pace onto the ball by tapping it into the side. Brad as well trying to play a few mind games on Motta here, but Motta having absolutely none of it. Back into the middle now. Astro sends it forward, but Brad is the one to collect it. Bems up quickly. Sends it back forward to the other end. Can't seem to shift that one to be on target. Now Motta again. Down into Astro. Astro into the corner. Demolition has been made. Dropping down to the middle. Is anyone going to mark up onto that one? It is Motta, but he can't direct the shot on target.
Doesn't have the accuracy just now, but he still leaves the ball in that orange half. Now the counterattack for Crew Esports comes, but it's gone as quickly as it came. Saved into the corner. Motta crucially gets that 100 boost to kickstart his drive down that right flank. Is deterred though by Drafinio, and we're seeing this sort of style again, Swayze, that we've seen in the overtime. It's just back and forth constantly. Quick attacks from both teams.
You are right, but when I'm watching Crew on their attack, all they really seem to do is force the ball into the corners of Ninjas in Pajamas, which when you're defending, that's exactly where you want the ball to be. It's easy to predict where it's going to go most of the time, and alongside that too, it provides some sort of sustainability. Now it's a 2 versus 1, but Astro able to read exactly what the plan was much quicker than anybody else was able to, especially as the last man back. That is a trait which is heavily needed.
It's not the first 2v1 power play that Crew had, and it's not the first 2v1 power play that Crew wasted against NiP about this in the series. It's been about the 5th or 6th, if my counting is correct. For Crew Esports, they're never really in a position to use those power play opportunities. Now maybe drops with the shot Motta. Ready on the goal line and, quite frankly, just being shot at.
You are right there, but then that's where the demolitions come in. There's actually one as soon as I mention the name. Swayze is being a pre-jump master coming back into play once again. Don't know how I've managed to gain this skill, but it is something that they need to start implementing into their gameplay. We've spoken about this before, but it needs to happen more often, because if you start to really send it in more and more and more, Ninjas in Pajamas will become accustomed to that. They'll start to get used to it and look out for it. They'll be a little bit worried. That's when you get the opportunity to change things up. Send it in like that for just about half the game, and halfway through, change the plan, be direct, get those shots off, because they're going to be looking around scared for somebody hunting them down, trying to take them out the game, rather than watching what's happening with the ball and with the opposition around, which can open up passing lanes for them to shoot from.
It's again that concept of play conditioning, right? Where you're planting an idea in your opponent's head and then really in reality executing on another demolition coming out from Drafinio. It's a great pinch though out of Bems, and Motta nearly finds its way all the way into the orange net. But honestly, this has just been like game 1 for Crew Esports, minus the goals that they've scored. Because right now, it's still 0-0, but they still have that dominance over midfield. They still have NiP sweating in defense. The thing with NiP is just, they don't double commit anymore.
You are right. They seem more prepared. Oh, that one nearly managed to get all of its way through. As I was saying, it does seem to be that Ninjas in Pajamas are more prepared for the gameplay. They're reading what Crew are doing. It could be down to the fact that Crew are a little bit too slow on when they try to develop their plays, when they really try to not only develop them, but make them happen. It's a bit too easy for Ninjas in Pajamas to see, and that's why they're intercepting almost every single pass, and that playstyle that we first in the first game is no longer working.
It's no longer working simply because NiP has adapted, and NiP is continuing to adapt. Motta trying to get a pass at Brad, but not successful in his effort. Astromic, once again, into his own corner, collects the boost. The ball is a bit wide. The bounce is not necessarily working this time, but it doesn't matter because he's got both his teammates on the goal line, ready to save it away.
Robs there had a chance to turn offensively, but I don't really think he expected that one to come on through. Here's Brad onto the backboard, double tap. Is available to him, but it was a little bit too slow. Could we go to an overtime where it's all on the line for Crew Esports? Ninjas in Pajamas may need one goal to secure their place in the grand final. If it does touch the ground, which it will, we have overtime.
One mistake from Crew Esports. It's all that it takes to send NiP into the grand finals. All one brilliant kickoff goal play. No, not quite. Bems against the post.
So close to sealing the deal of their fate moving forward, but it's still alive here for Crew Esports. Who knows how far this series could go if they get the victory here. One goal is needed to keep them alive, one to shut them down into the lower bracket as Drops here. Love to boom it forward, take it to a bit of safety with Motta. Lovely first touch, drops down on it as well. Takes it down to the ground, forcing Brad into a 50. But here's Defino to try and send the shot off, but it's not successful.
Not successful, and Bems is not really challenged. Forcing a double commit out of the Crew defense. Motta is able to get it to and pass a landing. Brad, though, whose 50 is supreme. Another mistake, though, out of Drops. You can see the nerves. Crew Esports know what at stake. Oh, Bems!
No!
Oh, you beautiful man! What a 50 that was from him!
Oh my word, he had Brad down to an absolute T, knew where he was going to put his car, and Motta knew exactly what Bems was going to do. The tank man sends it to the middle, Motta runs it down, puts it in, Ninjas in Pajamas make their way to the finals.
Near NiP in the grand finals of the Spring Cup. Crucial for their Boston major bid. Sending down Crew Esports, sending them down to that lower final where they await the winner of W7M or Team Secret.
What a wonderful match that was from Ninjas in Pajamas. Crew Esports, they really did let it go. I do think it was all down to the fact that Ninjas in Pajamas just needed to get themselves rolling in the game. We do see that quite often with a lot of teams, don't we? Where the first match can be just a little bit shaky, but as soon as they get their read in, they're dialed on to what is going on in the play, they start to run away with it. And Ninjas in Pajamas, they're going to be running into grand finals hot as anything.
And especially their ice in overtimes has to be mentioned here. 3 overtimes in the series. 2 of them, okay, within the first minute, but the one mega long overtime, that game 4 overtime, 7 minutes, 37, just absolutely crazy stuff. And you could see the longer an overtime went on, or even the fact that we went into overtime, clearly played on Crew Esports' mind.
It really did, and it clearly quite affected them going into that final game. They did use their tactical timeout in that time, but really, it was a bit difficult for them because it almost could have got into their heads a bit more at the fact that they just lost a huge overtime, and it wasn't enough to really get them mentally reset to go in with a fresh mind. Even though they know the pressure was on, they had to try and calm down, and they weren't able to do it. NiP kept their cool, they ran straight on through, and now they see themselves in the grand final.
And the past is predicting the present. NiP is still unbeaten against a Crew Esports. Not the 4-2 I was expecting, but hey, at least I beat Danny Boy in the prediction myself. But that's it for the grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after a short break with the lower bracket semi-finals. Will be W7M Esports versus Team Secret to see who will face Crew Esports here in this vital RLCS South America Spring Cup.